First of all, it's a very, very sad day in Israel. A very sad day in Israel because Israel is a very, very small country. When we see our parents and we are sharing the same values of India, the value of families, when we see our parents, some of them 19, 80 years old, taking as an animals to the dark tunnels of Gaza, when we see our daughters raped and afterwards burned alive, that they will not be an evidence. When we see babies put in an oven in front of the parents, this is something which is traumatic. We will not forget, we will not forgive.
Today is indeed a black day, a rather dark day in the history of the Israeli nation, as today marks the 1 year of the deadly attacks on Israel on the 7th of October. Here we are in 2024. I am joined by Mr. Kobbi Shoshani, who is the Consul General of Israel in Mumbai. So firstly, thank you for speaking to us. So why is 7th October etched in your mind particularly, and why is it that we call it a dark day?
First of all, it's a very, very sad day in Israel. A very sad day in Israel because Israel is a very, very small country. And in every house in Israel, people know someone that injured, murdered, raped or kidnapped in Israel. You know, the history of the Jewish people is a very dark. Sometimes we know of very difficult days. But definitely in the modern history of Israel since 1948, our Day of Independence, that was the toughest and a very dramatic moment. When we see our parents and we are sharing the same values of India, the value of families, when we see our parents, some of them 19, 80 years old, taking as an animals to the dark tunnels of Gaza, when we see our daughters raped and afterwards burned alive, that they will not be an evidence, when we see babies put in an oven in front of the parents, this is something which is traumatic. But it shows us the evil of these people. We will not forget, we will not forgive. And what's happened since then, the reaction was accordingly.
Sir, we are seeing that the current situation is far from being resolved. In fact, the war has sort of intensified. Now, Israel is surrounded by a lot of enemies who are trying to attack them from different sides. I don't want to name, of course, you already know who they are. But also, when can we potentially see an end to this? Because this is causing a lot of destruction and disrupting peace on both sides.
I will give you the Israeli perspective, and I think that I will give the estimation of the other side. When the Israeli citizen in the north part of Israel and in the south part of Israel, the refugees that actually fled to the center of Israel after October 8th and after October 7th as well, will come back safely home without any threat that there are tunnels behind their houses, and they can live in their villages and cities in the parts in the north and the south part of Israel, and the hostages will come back, and the military capability of Hamas is going to be completely eliminated. That's going to be the end of the war from our perspective. Now, that's our perspective. I'm a diplomat. I can say what is our perspective. But I tell you something else. When the other side, these terrorists, will understand that we are tough enough, we are power enough, and we are determined enough not to stop until to reach our aim, that's going to be the point that the war is going to be over.
Sir, also a couple of your soldiers, or be it members of the military personnel, are still in their control. What is going to be the immediate plan, or maybe plan in the future, to try to safely rescue them and bring them back to Israel?
I think it's a big challenge in Israel. It's a big dispute in Israel. What's going to be along with them? You know, Israel is a question. It's a small country, as I mentioned. I think the common connection is extremely important. But I have to tell you something. Israel did and will do the utmost to release them by power or by negotiation. And I think that our Prime Minister make it in a very, very clear voice, and I think that everybody in Israel knows. Right now, the Hamas leader doesn't want to coordinate and to speak about negotiation. Then right now we have only one alternative, which is a military. When you will open negotiation, we'll see what's going on.
Sir, something your country and India has always reiterated is that they firmly stand against terrorism. So what kind of similarities do you see between India and Israel, and how have the terrorist attacks in Mumbai, especially the 26/11, have brought Israel and India closer, because there is a no tolerance policy for terrorism?
As I think mentioned in our press conference, I was here after 26/11. I think that I don't have to explain to the Mumbaikers and to the Indian people, not in Kashmir, not in Mumbai, and not in other places, what is terrorism. Terrorism, the aim is to make a fear to the cities. Then I don't have to explain to you what is terrorism. And the bond between India and Israel, especially in the field of fighting against terrorism, it's not only important, it's crucial to win this terrorist, because when the terrorists will know that we are together fighting against terrorism, sometimes we pay a price for that, but they will not let our citizen live in a fear. And that's part of our DNA, part of our concept.
Sir, my last question to you is, while we know that United Nations is a body that Israel has never really been in favor of, but if United Nations were to come in and bring in some kind of intervention or any kind of process that can help in achieving peace, would Israel be happy to take this and try to stop the war in the larger scheme of things?
I think that the only, or maybe the very several positive decision by the United Nations was in 1947, when the decision of making the Jewish state, the State of Israel, born and Day of Independence. That was maybe several events that was positive towards Israel. In the rest of the years, it was hypocrisy in the United Nations. And what we saw, especially in the recent years, especially with the Secretary General, Mr. Guterres, Antonio Guterres, he become, and I think that our Foreign Minister make it very, very clear, and I'm absolutely supporting that, is unwelcome in Israel. He's not unwelcome in Israel because of his personality, because he's actually betrayed the values of United Nations. When he gives us support and he cannot even condemn in a full heart, and all the time try to compare between two situations. They started a war. They butchered our citizens. They burned our wives. They raped our daughters. It's not an equal formula.
Do you think they should have stood up strongly, sometimes in favor and support of Israel as well?
I tell you frankly, we are less confident in the United Nations completely.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you so much.
With cameraman Mahesh More, Devkotak for India Today, Mumbai.